Buenos dias. Good day to you all. It's been an interesting couple of days, week, months, always. But it's been very rewarding, as I knew it would, as it always is. But there's a level of me while I'm in it that it's very dramatic. My whole life's very dramatic, but particularly dramatic in those spaces. And it's interesting waking today, creating new patterns, routines, rituals, if you might like to call it that, and also bringing back in old ones that I've done for 16 years, but it really failed to do in the last couple. And not fail, but in like I didn't do things right sense, but just didn't do. I failed to do it, like it wasn't done. And I recognised the power of what those rituals did for me each day, and just that slowing and allowing the mind to be less jump into things, and actually creating that slowness. And part of what I was taught and what I've adopted is letting go of all thoughts, words, and actions that don't belong in the body. I added actions in thought. I'm not sure if I can't remember if that was teached. Good English. I got teached lots of stuff. I'm pausing on this because I really feel that there was something in the actions. And it's gone. It's eluded me. But actions that we've done maybe towards others, forgiving ourselves for our actions. Perhaps it was something I didn't see an action being belonging in the body. It's always interesting when you're taught things, how we absorb it, and what we deviate from our own beliefs, and perhaps our own teachings and rituals that we've accumulated along the way. It's something in the spiritual movement that I found really hard to adapt to, because I've never studied any religion. I've never read the Bible. I've read passages of it here and there. When I had my first awakening at 21, awakening moment I'll call it, because I think that's what we all get confused with when we have these, for lack of a better word, connections to God, Source, the universe, when there's that undeniable truth that's felt within. And I had that moment, and it was a really pivotal point for me, and it changed my trajectory. And while it appeared to be detrimental to what I wanted to do, the very logic, university-based, you study, you get a job, you get good money sort of pathway to a more natural and healing-based level of study and lifestyle. Though I sort of ebbed and flowed within that space over the last 15 years anyway. But I've kept a pretty consistent spiritual line and lots of rules around it that, for me, there was no substance to be involved anytime I was meditating. I had to have been quite clear for days before I would do a meditation. If I'd had one beer, I wouldn't do a meditation. I didn't smoke pot, really, like here and there, months between sort of thing. So I didn't often have residual. I didn't have residual sort of substance within my being, and it's interesting having no one in the spiritual space over that time that understood, besides my meditation facilitator, and she was also a spiritual healer for me. But we didn't converse a lot, so it wasn't, that was her, and that's what she did, and I did what I did, and the other people who came to meditation did what they did, but everyone was so different that there was such a, and even spiritually different, that there wasn't a strong connection that always flowed on between us outside of that space. And what we did, a lot of us did connect here and there, and a lot did have creative friendships from it. Yeah, like I'd been going for a few years before I had the awakening. So from about 18, I'd been going on and off to this meditation group. So yeah, it'll be 20 years, which is really daunting to think back to those times. And I'd even led a meditation back then at 21, and going to spiritual workshops, and I was really quite involved, but I pulled away after I had my awakening, because I felt quite alone in that space, an awakening moment. And I actually pulled away from everyone when I made the shift. For 3 months, I didn't drink. I quit smoking cigarettes. I saw New Year's in with my mum. I actually didn't even see it in. We went up to Balmoral Ridge and watched the kiddie fireworks earlier, and then went to bed. It was my first New Year's as even an adolescent or adult that I hadn't seen in. That I did spiritually. I was there in another space. And going back to rituals, in that space, everything was perfect. Nothing was perfect, but everything was perfect, is what I was told. It's like, everything is perfect. Everything is perfect. Everything is perfect. You've arrived. Everything is perfect, and you've arrived. Everything is perfect, and you've arrived. I'm glad you found this. I know you've been watching. It's okay. For we all are. I don't see this world as I did. I fall back into being fearful of being watched again, I know. As I always am. Aren't I? I can be whatever you want to perceive me as. Doesn't mean I am. Because inside, while I might act like a child on the outside, inside this mind has got so much shit ticking that the childlike essence that I choose to hold within me, there's a reason for it. Because if you got all of this sternness, of this forwardness, this logicness, of this mind that can code and code and code, if you got all that in the real world, fuck, you'd be fucked. I bring love and light and laughter and the childlike essence, so that you don't get all of that, because it's too much. So have a nice day, everyone. Adios.